Hey guys, Alex here. I recently had the pleasure of sitting down with a fellow named Hans Eriksson. He basically started as one of us and has worked his way through the channels to become head of negotiations for the Architectural Sheet Metal Workers Union over in Sweden. Basically, what he does is he looks out for guys like us, guys on the ground. He's one of us, and he appreciates what it's like out there. Right now, his main gig, his main role is education. It was a pleasure to sit down with him. Him and I, we share the same passion for education and see how much value it brings to the industry. We had a great time, had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Share this video with a friend who may get some value out of it as well. And enjoy the video.
Oh,
All right, Hans, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I've been reading about your recovering from something. I don't know what, but
Oh yeah, watch it.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, a tobogganing accident with my son. Beautiful, man. So yeah, hey, one before we get started here, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to make some of those videos you did for the group there. I know a lot of guys are getting a lot out of them, and
Thank you.
I'm totally into guys like yourself sharing the knowledge with the up and coming generation of metal workers, especially here in North America, because a lot of the guys, they just don't take it seriously enough because there's not enough focus put on the trade. Because here
Yeah,
it's they think it just gets slapped on a building and you know screw it and cock it and notch it and kick it until it fits.
yeah.
So I appreciate what you taking the time to do that because it's important. It's really important.
I would do much more, but I left the trade for some years ago. Nowadays, I'm at the employees employees union. I would say, almost say the employees organization, and I don't have access to a workshop, so that's why it's difficult for me to do more vids like that. But I will try as soon as I have the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
show things. Here in Sweden, they have a competition every year among the youths, trainees, to
Mm-hmm.
become the best sheet metal worker of Sweden among the youths, and we are just starting to with those uh, competition now. It's all over Sweden because they go to school. They go to I don't know the school system here. You go ground school 9 years, and then you have 3 years in gymnasium. It's called, and in the gymnasium you can choose to become a sheet metal worker.
Okay.
And among those ones, we let them try something, and we take in and we measure and sort out six persons to go to final, and then we bring them into our own school that the business has have started some years, 30 years ago, something, and then they compete against each other.
So
It's
so you guys, yeah, you do kind of like an apprenticeship competition.
yeah, yeah.
Much like we have that here, but and I competed in them myself.
Ah, okay.
Like three of them. I was in three of them. Yeah, it's similar to what we do over here. So what you guys do, so you do public school kind of like grades 1 to 9, and then so over here we do high school after public
Mhm.
school,
Yeah,
and that's from grade 9 to 12. And in that time, like there's shop class that you can really find out. So is that similar to what you're talking about?
yeah. It is. It is. Basically, when you go to gymnasium, or you can choose if you want to learn a trade or
Okay.
to study for further studying. So those who choose to learn a trade, they have a wide, uh, uh, a lot of work skills to choose from. But in construction industry, most of them goes to concrete and masoning and like that. But a small part of them choose our skill as well. So,
Okay.
but in all Sweden, I think it's about only 350, 400 pupils per year that choose our skill, and that is far from enough.
Right.
Uh, yeah, it's far from enough. So companies need to employ people that don't have any skill at all and teach them from the ground.
Yeah.
And for that, we have put up a system. So uh, they start as trainee in a company with no knowledge at all about the skill about work, what they
Hmm.
are going to do, and they work there for some months, and then they are sent to our branch school. And
Okay.
then at the branch school, we teach them basics for
Oh,
three
I know.
weeks. Then they go back to the company, work there for maybe half year, 10 months, and then 3 weeks again on our branch school to develop their basic knowledge. And we do that during their time as trainee for four times 3 weeks at our branch school.
Hmm.
And the company that employed this guy from the beginning, they don't pay anything to the branch school for this. They only pay the salary to the guy that they are sending, and the branch itself, all employers are paying equally to this branch school.
Okay,
So
so the is there a fee for the company to be part of this
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of?
yeah. It's all ruled by the collective agreements.
Okay.
Collective agreements is very strong in Sweden. You
Okay.
you can't you can't be in this business if you don't have a collective agreement. It's like that for a company.
So it's like
There are
like a union or a guild that you guys
uh,
are a part of?
yeah,
Everybody?
we have, yeah, as a central organization, we make up the collective agreement with the union, and all that are members with in our organization, they automatically are bound to that collective agreement.
Okay.
Or you can also, if you have a company you don't want to be in our organization, you can go directly to the union and say, well, I want to sign that collective agreement. And in that collective agreement, there are fees that are percentage of wage to all the employees, and those money goes to this branch school. And
Okay.
it's a win-win for us, absolutely. For the I really don't understand why the union really accept this deal, because they have nothing to win on it really, but they feel like the trade need to have skilled workers.
Hmm.
So
Well,
that's why.
it could ensure them future membership
Yeah,
too, right? Like
yeah,
and but it's, I mean, that's a long game, but it also, it would incentivize both sides, right? It would make both sides want to become part of that movement, because as an employer myself, I employ people, I run a business.
mm,
I out of anyone, and you yourself would know too, how difficult it can be to find guys, to find.
yeah,
So like, let's say, like, as a business owner, I want to grow my business, I want to scale that business up. If I can't find qualified guys and it's just me on the tools from now until retirement, I'm not going to grow the business. I'm not going to have anything to sell, 40
yeah,
years from now, or to pass on to my son or whatever, right? And then for the people coming in, if they want a career, right, a proper career, not
mm,
just a come and go job. They want to invest their time in something that's going to be long term, right? And then I see the benefit from both sides. That's why I've been talking with a few guys where, the idea of an association, right? That a contractors association where we can kind of combine our efforts and try and achieve the same result that you're talking about. But yeah, you know what? It's very similar over here with the unions and stuff like that, because I've been through that whole process myself.
It works really well, actually. It do, and we have a committee where I am in, and two from my organization, and two from the union, and then the people from our education, this school, and we have meetings every second month or something like that, and discussing how to develop the education, how to get more people to sign on to become sheet metal worker, and like that, and working against the public schools so that they are aware about our school and sending people there to learn the trade. So it really is good for both parts, I think.
So, okay, so over here, our trade, so the sheet metal worker over here is automatically thought of as like an HVAC guy, a duct worker, right?
Okay.
And at no point does, the architectural sheet metal or like metal roofer or anything like that, does that ever enter the minds of anybody? It's a duct worker. If you're a sheet metal worker, you're a duct worker, right? Residential or commercial. So it seems like over there, you guys have it specific trade for architectural sheet metal. Is that what you guys have?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's a very narrow branch like that.
Okay.
Of course, they do a lot of things in their shops, but this work is, I think, with all in all, there is about 6,000 persons in Sweden that has 6,000 or 7,000, something like that. And Sweden is not that big. But anyway, that is a very small group of workers on the market. But they are on the construction site. Well, I guess you have quite the same weather as we have in Sweden. So the roof is one of the most important part of the building. If it's not done right, the building will rot down quite soon, or you will have big problems. So and that is how it has always been here in Sweden. So the status, can I say status? The how is it called? The sheet metal worker, they are seen like a group on the construction building that are skillful.
Okay.
They are the only ones on the construction site that know how to secure the building so it will maintain against all the weather elements.
Okay.
So there is nobody else on the construction site. They don't have a boss on the construction site that tell them do this, do that. The workers themselves know what to do. They have that skill, all of them. So they are very proud. All of them are very, very proud of their profession. And
Well, it'd be like telling a bricklayer how to lay a brick.
Yeah.
Like the architect coming and telling the bricklayer how to lay the brick and put the mortar on and stuff like that. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about there, it sounds to me like you're saying, like no one can really tell them what to do. Everything that they do is taught to them, and then they take what they're taught and apply it to whatever part of the roof they're working on, whether it be a chimney or a ridge or anything like that. And no one can really tell them how. Maybe there's like a little design element that the architect wants, but
they have the big picture you should have double seam on this roof, you should have whatever. But on the details,
Okay.
on all details, as you said, the chimney, they do it by themselves. How to know where to put the seams or around the chimney to make it work. And of course, the company knows. There are people coming afterwards when the work is done to control that everything is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is that? Who does that? Is it is it from the company or is it
no,
from your organization?
It's the customer.
Okay.
Customer make an agreement with someone to come there and control it. And you have in Sweden, there are about 20 people that there is controlling sheet metal working like that.
So like a quality control in the end, everything before they write the final check.
Yeah. And you saw those small pictures of detailed, very small details that I put on the Facebook.
Yep.
Those are from a book where all techniques are described.
Okay.
Almost all techniques.
Yeah.
And so when you are, if a really skillful architect that knows this kind of work as well, he can use that book and say, on this place you should use this technique. And then you can go to this book and look, you should do the seam like this, and you should cut the metal in those lengths and widths and like that. So there is a system to describe what you want. But most of the times it's up to the workers themselves to the very fine detail around the very specific structure.
I totally get what you're saying. So the over here, I'll tell you who controls the details is heavily the manufacturer of whatever roof system is being installed. So if you're doing a really popular over here is 1.5 inch standing seam, not 1 inch. It's mainly 1.5 inches, and so they'll say 1.5 inches, single lock, mechanical lock, or snap lock. One of the two is heavily used. And then in order for that company to warranty the work, you have to follow their details. And every single one of them has a different set of details. And most of them are absolutely bonkers. They make no sense at all. So I don't know how to take the control away from the manufacturers and put it into our hands. But I really honestly think it's going to be through education, right? And through exactly what you're talking about, and to give the power back to the installer, the guys who are putting it on the roof and who have to warranty the work and who have to fix it if it leaks, and right. So what I wanted to, while you were talking there, I had a question come up in my head. So you're saying your trade is very guarded, so it's very protected. Would you say that there are people who do installations who aren't a part of any of that and who get away with things and make the trade look bad? Do you have that over there a lot?
Private consumers, maybe, but not in the bigger building companies. They don't get scammed like that. They know what companies to trust and like that. But if you're a private person and I need a new roof, then you can get scammed or get really bad work because they seldom sign a contract for the work. They just say, I need a new roof. Okay, I'll fix it, and then they get a core work. But it's not that usual actually. Because as I said, if you want to do business with the construction sites, the bigger construction sites, you need your collective agreement, and you maybe they want to be a member in our organization, or they just contact the union. But anyhow, the rumor would send them out of business immediately if they delivered that kind of
Okay.
bad result on a construction site. Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
And
that's interesting.
and another side of here in Sweden, construction business is under a lot of foreign companies from Poland, Estonia, Latvia are here in Sweden and doing construction works on the private market as well as on the construction sites, but not in our branch because they don't have the workshop. They can't bring the workshop from Poland to Sweden. So
Right.
in that way, also our branch is somehow protected against that kind of people that just want the money and get away as fast as they can.
Yeah. See, because that is extremely common over here. I have a journeyman's ticket. So I have a certificate of qualification as a sheet metal worker, 308A sheet metal worker. That's the certification. I have
Mm.
that. Has anyone ever asked me for it? Never. Right?
Mm.
They don't even know it even exists. They say, oh, you're a roofer. Just go
Mm.
and put the roof on. Right? And we do some pretty large scale projects, like,
I've
and
seen.
they're going off of, well, like, I've made a good name for myself, so you get referred by another company who also has a good name, so that it's like just word of mouth.
Mm.
There's no real way to tell whether I know my stuff or not. It's just based on referral. So
Mm.
if I'm going to get, like, kind of like you're saying, the bigger jobs, the ones that require the collective agreements, they all go to the unions, right? The higher end restoration projects and stuff, that all goes to the bigger companies.
Mm.
But this style of roofing is becoming more and more popular every single day. And these, how would you say, let's just call them underperforming contractors,
Mm.
get to charge top dollar for doing way below standard work.
Mm.
There's really good contractors out there. I'm not denying that. What I am saying, though, is that there's a problem
Mm.
where guys can just come in, charge top dollar, and then and that's a really big problem over here. And I think what it
Yeah, yeah.
does too, I think what it
And
does too.
it
Or go.
also gave metal roofs a bad name.
Yeah.
Uh, and so it hurts the whole. It damages the whole business.
Yep. Do you have residential contractors under your, like, guys who don't work on the big scale stuff? Is there a residential side to your industry there, or to your association?
Aha. People do. Uh, you can go to any big shop for construction materials and buy your, how it's called here. Here we call it that is
Oh, the
TRP, corrugated.
yep. Yep.
Corrugated. They can buy it themselves, go home and put it on the roof. And they do. And when they think they are done, they call the sheet metal worker. Hey, I have the chimney. Can you please fix this? And they haven't put anything under the. It's not. Oh, so that is. But I don't
Oh,
know really how common it is on the countryside, maybe. But otherwise, we have in our association, we have companies from one single person, up to companies that have. I think the biggest one is about 150, 200 person employed.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So it's,
that answers my question, because
mm,
so we would call it a unionized company over
mm,
here, a company that is tied in with the union. But
mm,
so what that actually does answer my question, because like a one man show is, it can and can do work as someone under your association. And it's
Yes.
so those guys couldn't handle a large scale project, but then also a bigger company isn't too interested in the small stuff either. So you have to have that balance, right?
But you should know, on a big construction site, you don't need many sheet metal worker to keep up with the builders.
True.
Like next block from us, they are building a new communal flats, quite big construction site. I have seen 3 sheet metal workers there, and the other builders, they are like 50, 60. And
Right.
those 2 sheet metal workers, 2 or 3 sheet metal workers, keep up with them, no problem.
Okay.
Uh, that's the same with me. We made one of my last projects as a sheet metal worker was a university. It was a really, really big building. It was aluminium, and we were 2 persons. We were two, me and one other guy, and we had a trainee with us for a while.
Okay.
Otherwise, we kept up with the whole construction site,
Mhm.
only 2 of us. So one man is okay. It's just one man, and sometimes you have to handle big pieces of. Well, I guess he gets help, but otherwise he is doing fine. The one I'm thinking of now,
Mhm.
he had he had his one-man business for as long as I know, as I have known him, and he and I are going to be the judges of this competition I was talking about
Oh, okay.
from our side. So
Cool.
he is really, really engaged in the education, but he will never employ anyone. But he is in love with the branch in the
Sure.
work.
No,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Because you know what, you should really have some entity really dedicated to the education and have no real ties to completing projects and
Mm,
stuff like that, because I think there's a bit of a conflict of interest, right? Because the company has to get the job done as quick as possible, and it takes time to train guys, right? It takes a lot of time and effort and patience.
mm,
And anyone who's running a company, if they're burning dollars, it's just not going to work. So like, yeah, like you're saying, I think it's a great idea. Have, go in for the training, go back to the job site, apply what you learned, come back for
mm,
another stage, go back. That's the best way for sure.
mm, mm. All in all, the trainee period with school and practice afterwards in the company, the time to get to the point where you can take the certificate for your skill is
Yeah.
6,800 hours.
Wow. 1,800
So
more than what we do.
uh, after that, you're called to our branch school, and you have to do a technical test, show what you can do, and writing test also to know all those details from the book I'm talking about.
Right. Right. Oh, so you
Yeah,
do a practical.
yeah, yeah. It's a 3-day test.
Okay. That makes a lot that makes a lot of sense. Ours is a multiple choice
Mm,
questionnaire
mm,
for the CFQ, and you need a 75 to pass. As a last when I took it last, right?
mhm.
But
Yeah,
well, man, hey, listen, I got some other stuff to do. I know if I'm
yeah.
not really going anywhere, but
Okay.
I gotta get on top of some other stuff here. So hey, listen, thanks for your time. We should do this again.
Yes, absolutely. I will. When we go down there and check out all the pieces all those skillful youth have done, I will take a lot of picture. I will take a video of our school and well, try
Oh,
to show you things from there and put on the Facebook
yeah,
to show
yeah.
how.
Posts. That would be awesome. And
Yeah,
the guys over here, we need to see that stuff, right?
yeah.
We need to see how you guys do it over there.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why I told you that I wanted to talk to you
Mhm.
is that I maybe sometime in the future we could have some kind of uh, uh, you could maybe send a couple of students to our school, to a Swedish company who work for 1 year in Sweden, bring back skills to you.
Hmm.
We could send some to have some kind of cooperation like that, just to bound their branches over the seas.
Yeah, what would you
That
call
was
that? That
that is a very tiny idea right now, but it would be really nice, I think.
it's like an exchange program. It's like an
Yeah,
exchange student program for sheet metal. That's
we have had that with France.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a fantastic idea. It'll grow over time. Like when I started this ASM 101, it was really tiny too, but it's starting to grow. So,
mm,
you know,
yeah.
seeds are really tiny, but they grow into big trees.